everyone, this is Naomi. I'm an Umusume player who loves to cheercraft about the game, and today I'm going to talk about whether you should pull Fuku or NTR for the Make a New Track scenario. There's been many debates on whether you should pull the Fuku banner or the NTR banner, but I'm going to present with you an alternative case that pulling for Fuku could be the easier option. Disclaimer, if you're a free-to-play player, you should probably prioritize the Fine Motion and Speed SSR Maruzetsuki banner because that banner has two very good SSR cards that you can use for a very long time. You should also have both MLB Kita-san and Fine Motion before even considering this option, because if you don't have these two cards MLB, you should probably prioritize getting both of these two cards to MLB. This video is also merely a suggestion for a safe way to obtain an MLB Speed SSR card for the Make a New Track scenario. Please decide for yourself that if you are okay with using Fuku or Narita top road, and if you really are okay with whatever I'm suggesting you to do. I do not think that this is the right move for everyone, and it really depends on what you have in your account and what your goals are in this game. You don't have to pull for Fuku or top road if you don't want to. Gut stack is totally usable in Make a New Track even if you don't have SI Maya Vega. You can totally produce Umas that are still strong and be able to compete with other players with a gut stack. So is Fuku Kitaru actually worse than Narita top road? Both cards need to be MLB to have 10 race bonus, so there's no difference in that regard. Fuku has worse training bonuses than Narita top road because she has no special priority, lower friendship bonus, no speed power bonus, and lower training effectiveness. However, she has initial stats that can help you win early races, which can be good in Make a New Track, and she also acts like a mini power card by reducing your energy consumption. You need energy to perform your turns in Umusume, so I think that conserving energy can be beneficial, and that's why I think that Fuku Kitaru is not as bad as people think. In terms of stat rolling, Narita top road will be the more consistent card due to her training bonuses, while Fuku Kitaru will have to high roll by praying that she appears on speed training enough, and also you must pray that you don't end her event chain early because you will lose out on stats and skill points by ending her event chain early. Although there's one bad thing about Narita top road that I don't like, which is you will have to sacrifice 10 energy for her first and third event, and that is a bad thing because you want to have as much energy as possible for this scenario. In terms of skill hints, Narita top road has the better skill hints, but in Make a New Track it doesn't really matter because you can get skill hints by winning races against rivals. For example, if you win a race against a rival in a long track as a late surger, you could for example get a random skill such as Auto Swell for late or Inside Scoop for long. It's a totally random skill, depending on what track you ran and also what strategy you ran the Uma as. This means that you can even get skill hints that your cards cannot provide you. Both of these SSRs also don't have any essential gold skills, so using either of them doesn't really matter that much. In terms of card longevity, I heard that Narita top road falls off in the next scenario Grand Life, while Fuku Kitaru is still usable in that scenario. However, I would say that ideally you would want to run Kita-san plus Maru or Takion in that scenario. So you could technically use Fuku Kitaru if you somehow don't have two of those cards, but if you have those two, then you'll definitely use those two instead of Fuku. Fuku Kitaru still has a value in parent farming, where the initial stat boost can still help you to win your races early, which can be very helpful on parents where you don't want to train as much and you want to race as much as you can. So for the banner comparison, Fuku Kitaru's banner had 53 pulls and Top Road's banner has 63 pulls, but this could change for what we know since we got 100 pulls on Rico when there wasn't any for JP. Also, there's one important thing that I want to say, is that you are technically pulling the NTR banner not for NTR herself, but for the SR Guts Admire Vega. And this is because SR Admire Vega is a very strong SR card with 30 friendship bonus, 1 speed bonus, 1 power bonus, and also 15 race bonus, which is the most important stat for Make a New Track. However, there's a problem with this banner, is that you have a total of 3 rate up SRs. It's not just Admire Vega, but also Major Ryan and Sakura Bakshino. This means that if you are somehow super unlucky, you could theoretically drop 60k creds and never end up with SR Admire Vega at all. And you cannot spark SR cards, so it is actually still a risky move to make. So this is where my suggestion comes in. on the first anniversary, we are getting a free SSR selector, and according to Seriru's video, this SSR selector has Fuku Kitaru in the selector pool. This means that if you have arbitrary Fuku, you can use this selector to complete your MLB. There's also a paid SSR selector sold during the first anniversary that has the exact same pool. So if you're unlucky and only end up with LV2, you could buy this selector ticket as your backup plan. This makes Fuku Kitaru a very safe option compared to Naruto Top Road because you can use the selector tickets to help you in case things don't go as well as you planned. Bonus section. In Seriru's video, he also showed that New Opera is in the paid Uma selector pool. If you don't want to get Crispus or Gree, New Opera is a very good option because she is decent as an ace, and she will be a very good parent later on when we no longer need to inherit XL uniques from parents. She is even still used as a parent today in JP. I do not recommend ticketing Seiyun or Dover unless they are your Oshi, because we are getting a new feature called the Daily Legend Race on the first anniversary where you can farm 1 shot per day. This is a permanent event, although Seiyun will only be added on the 1.5 anniversary and Dover on the 2.0 anniversary. However, as you probably already noticed, we will only ever get to farm stars for the OG variants and never the costume variants, so this means that it is probably worth to ticket the costume variants instead. Anyways, thanks for watching this video to this end, and see you in the next guide.